be able to make it.
It worked really good.
Yeah.
Today.
So if you can. Did you hit record?
Yeah, you did.
All right, we're gonna get started, ladies and germs. Calling to order the 2024 February meeting of IPMS London. Welcome. I've been told for this meeting, we've got a couple of new members or new folks coming in. Is that correct? Anyone new? So Bill's here. Yeah, so Bill is Ron's roommate. So when you hear all those legendary tales, that's the infamous Ron roommate. Is it Joe here? Joe Chiasson? No, he was going to come tonight. You're saying new member, and then possibly Robert Langlois. There he is, Mr. Langlois. Brought in the big boats. Welcome. I hope you like how it fits here and become a member of our club. Welcome. All right, so I'm going to move along to give Ron time to demo. Let's see, dues. If you haven't paid your dues, Sergeant at Arms will come after you. That's my wife. She has a knife. Jeff is collecting dues again, as always. March is the cutoff, I believe, Jeff? Yeah, March is the cutoff. After that, you'll be off the mailing list.
Same thing we did last year. We didn't figure out. And always, I mean, guys here, okay, but I mean, guys,
yeah, it's okay. I don't get here in time. Okay, so thanks, Jeff. So, welcome to the club meeting. IPMS Canada news. So, if you're an IPMS Canada member, you'll have gotten that mail out that came. We've got awards for the 60th anniversary of IPMS Canada, the Alan Black Award. Alan Black was the guy who started it all back in the early 60s. I don't going to belabor the point, but we've got it's an award. As IPMS Canada, we're making a donation. So if a show like Heritage Con has already done it, they've said yes, we'll provide the Alan Black Award. So instead of buying a category, IPMS Canada shipped them $300 to pay for whatever they want to select. And there's some requirements, which is if you vote for, if someone's picked, we'll get them the award. We want pictures taken, that sort of thing, as far as national goes. So that's just a way to celebrate the 60th anniversary. You'll see a bit of a logo change for this year for our Jubilee on the website. For those of you that are members, when you get your RT, which has gone to the printers, it's printed. It should be coming shortly within the next week or so in the mail. Other than that, we're going to have some new swag coming out, things like that. Not much else to report besides that. Membership is going strong. As IPMS Canada National Director, that was part of my goal. So we created another Facebook page. Seems to be working because we had more members join in 1 month than we had in the last 10 years. Like as far as a 1 month span, I think we had 20 new members, which went really well. So the National Association is growing. We'll look at further engagement. But if any of you are interested in writing an article from the builds we have in, I think maybe an article from someone who does 1/72nd scale models for a Wartop board game would be yeah, but you should see our editor. He's really good. Yeah, he made Jeff look good too, right? Yeah, in the same issue. It was a double London hit. Yeah. So absolutely, especially because we played, right? So we can even do a game and do anyway. RT is always looking for articles. We've changed some of the content. Blappy was made the banner for IPMS Canada because I was tired of seeing that Hercules for the last 10 years. Blap, nice work. I tried to get the Falky up, but that didn't happen. Well, because I just couldn't get the picture up, and I just sent him whatever, and he grabbed the Voyager, which still looks awesome. And then speaking of which, I opened up what's called IPMS Canada Workbench, total ripoff of the UK. And that's just for people to show their builds. it went great. I mean, in the first day, I think we had over 100 people show up from membership stuff. So I'm kind of moving that one along. As a matter of fact, there may be a banner model located on our table today, just saying, because it was really nice work. And I think the feedback you've been getting, Mike, from people, it's great. So that's part of my engagement, is to try to get more people involved in the club. As a matter of fact, if I can just segue, for those who don't know, I'm on a podcast now called the Modeling Insanity Podcast. But just out of interest, we're going to be holding a group build on maquet. So I know Flaps made some maquet and he's got some kits, and there were some maquets picked up. But we're having a group. Yeah, Machine and Krieger. Yeah, yeah. Short form maquet, because everyone gets started saying Machine and Krieger all the time. Well, no, what I like is it's something I'm trying to get national to do, but it's a group build into a field that a lot of people aren't doing. So it's something to maybe explore. I purchased one. I've never made one before, so kind of interested in that kind of stuff. But yeah. So and that's also segueing into, we talked last year about doing some sort of contest build within our own group. So I'm just broaching it now. If anyone's got any ideas or like to see this, let us know. I was thinking over the summer, IPMS National is supporting for a Canadian subject build. We talked about it last year. It sort of lost traction. It was a bit of a crazy year, but if membership's interested in that, just give us some feedback. I'd be looking at starting maybe in the May meeting. So from May to September, where we could get something built. There's a lot of that going on, but not as many shows and stuff. So something to think about. If National is willing to fund a contest, I think it's a great way to engage in it for a Canadian subject. So we'll see if we can tie that in. So we'll leave that for May meeting. Yes. There are no rules right now. Yeah, right now, really, it's just whatever anyone's working on. We had guys share their workbench. No, no, there's no rules right now. It's Wild West. We already have some people like your friends as members. A lot of America.
I apologize.
What I mean is, if you look at the membership list of who's on there, it's international. It is, yeah. And so the only thing like I said, if I'm going to post it as a banner, I'm hoping that they're an IPMS chapter member, regardless of where they are in the world. Like, I don't care. I know a couple of guys from IPMS Mexico have posted. No problem. IPMS Mexico have posted. So no, it's wide open. It's a community, right? I just made the page because like, let's be honest, the national Facebook page was pretty much a turd, for lack of a better word, right? There's nothing going on. Well, no, I mean, that's why I said, let's shake it up a bit. So the workbench is there. Like, it was great. I think it was Jeff who kind of started showing a picture of his bench, and then everyone did, which was cool. Now we're getting works in progress, which I really like to see, progress reports, right? The crazy vacuum form guys are showing up. Yeah. Well, their president in exile. What's that? No. So yeah, used to be. So no, the IPMS Workbench, the Canada Workbench Facebook page is wide open. Feel free to invite your friends. There's no rules. It's an open thing. Once I start getting the fivers, which are the 3D printing people and the scammers showing up, then I'll close it from being public to private post. And you just got to be a member. I'll throw up a few questions. And I mean a member of the Facebook group, not IPMS. So yeah, that's the big thing is it's all about engagement, right? Just getting more people to share their work and get involved in the hobby and stuff like that. You know, we have a great opportunity. We know everyone's seen the magazine reports about how, this hobby helps with, cognitive degeneration, because it provides, keeps your mind agile for arthritis, for hands, all the benefits. It helps ADHD, people with ADHD, because they can focus on it. It's all documented. I've seen the posts over the years from different universities and stuff like that. So like our national, that's one of the things I'm trying to promote, is that it's a lifestyle that can provide a lot of benefits, socially. And we're not just, guys sitting in the basement anymore. We have Discord chat groups. We used to have Messenger. We've got Zoom meetings. We've got, I pop into the Black Rifle Model Works in the UK, and they have anywhere up to 150, 200 people from around the world dropping in on there once a month, show us your bits and stuff like that. Really great group, nicely engaged. Stuff like that's going on. So that's the whole point of that. So it's wide open. Well, membership, we're at 185, 190 now. So looking forward to it. 184, thank you. Yeah, right now Mike's truck is the banner because it was beautiful. Before that, it was a young fellow from IPMS Edmonton. He did a Reboot Guillaume from Warhammer 40K. So it's all about sharing and bringing this stuff out. So Heritage Con is coming up. That's our first big show, right? Up here. Sunday, March 24th, Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum. You have to, if you're going to compete, you got to have it in a week before the event. So the Sunday before, you got to be registered. Otherwise, you're not coming in at the door. I will advise anyone who wants to do the road trip down there early. Yeah. You got to get there early or you're euchred. I'm heading down, so I don't know if my road trip buddies want to come again, but I'm going down. They're occupant load, yeah, yeah. And the other problem is parking, right? Like the parking, for lack of a better term, I think is shit, would be the term I'd use. Yeah, but hopefully it's not wet the week before. Last year it was wet the week before, and a lot of people had to prove that they had four-wheel drive by making donuts and stuff. There is lots of field parking. It's just not pretty, especially when you're bringing kits in. So if you're going to go early. I'm attending with a few hats on. So I'll be leaving pretty early myself. So doors open, I believe it's at 9. Yeah. Like I'm going to try to get there for well, we know where the McDonald's is nearby. We'll get there for maybe about 7:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have that going on. Yeah. So good vendor stock. Our local crack dealer will be there. So Ed will be there. It's always a good show. It is Canada. It's North America's largest single day model show. That's their claim to fame right now. There's the modeling Mojo. The Mojo guys are going to be there. The model geeks. Yeah. So it'll be a lot like last year. Oh yeah, Fine Scale's coming again. So it's well worth it. Like I said, it's a great show. Yeah. So I know I enjoy every year I go there, and my wife doesn't. Um, yeah, I know. All right. So that's Heritage Con. So get signed up before the 19th of March. Next is Cam. Cam is going to talk about Byron Veterans Build. Well, Cam was telling us, he sent us an email. Vet Build is looking for a donation of kits. So the stack over here where you see the Edward Focke-Wulf and the Thunderbolt, that's our little spot. So Cam visits our club consistently every month. He's at meetings. So I think we'll just make this an open item. If you ever have kits you want to donate to Vet Build, we'll send out a reminder on a monthly basis. Bring them in. Cam will take them and get them over to Byron for. Yeah, hold on. Sorry to interrupt your work.
No problem.
So I went to the Byron Legion last Thursday night. They had their executive meeting and I pitched them this idea and they really liked it. And I got the go ahead, no problem. We got the back room. I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know what kind of interest it's going to generate or any of that kind of stuff. The guy who I was talking to recommended that it just be open to the public. So I envision this being our in-person gray butts that we used to meet in the basement of the church. everybody here is welcome and encouraged to come out, bring a kit, hang out for 2 hours in the Legion basement and build a model. And if we get vets out, that's great. And if we don't, they're not going to kick us out. You know what I mean? And there's an open bar. All of the time. Yeah.
Bars open.
Yeah.
it's gotta pay for it.
Yeah, no, it's not a free bar. It's an open bar. And children are permitted there until 9 p.m. There is a flyer in existence, and the PR guy told me that he was gonna have it in social media on Sunday, and it isn't arrived there yet. It seems to me they're in a sort of a routine to do stuff the week before to put all that stuff on social media. But I will definitely get you. I've got it on my phone, a PDF of it. I can print it off.
Our flyer, our club flyer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sure. 100%.
When is the meeting?
The first one is going to be Thursday, March 7th, 7 to 9 p.m. I'm going to try and make it on the first Thursday of the month. Yeah. And if it goes well, I can probably expand it to 2 times a month, maybe easily. Yeah, we'll take supplies. Absolutely. Oh, awesome. We'll take all that stuff.
Thanks, Cam.
Thanks so much, guys.
Next, Mr. York. Devin is looking to see if folks want to participate in a China order, basically a one mass order. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure,
for a
real
bit,
quick,
David?
yeah. I won't take much time. Just for those that are interested, got a person that I'm acquainted with now that does ordering out of China pretty much once a month. So for certain kits, certain brands, I believe Tamiya, trumpeter, paints, just overall supplies. If you have part numbers, if interested, as you know, with China, the prices over there for like Tamiya kits is almost like half what it is here. So if you are interested in doing an order, the more we have, everybody shares on the shipping cost basically. And the person I'm involved with is ordering for like cosmetics for females and jewelry, stuff like that. So they said if we're looking at doing a crate order, you're looking at models, supplies, tools. Yeah, probably. Yeah. So if you have biggest thing we'd be looking at is part numbers, brand, part numbers. We can quote it. We'll look it up. Probably get back to you within like 12 hours or so. Probably the best, you can probably email is the best. You can use if you want to send out another email while I'm on the list. If it's, yeah, it's my last name, first name. So yorkdevin@gmail.com, Devin with an I. So if anybody's interested, we'll look at it at once a month. We can quote it out. We'll give you an approximate price to what we'd be looking at, but we'd all share the shipping. So the more, obviously, the better. I just bought 2 Tamiya 148 F16s, and they were like here in Canada for the one version, they're about $90, $88. I got them for like $50. Yeah, Johnny does the same thing as like what I'm doing. So it's more so for kits that I'm looking at. Not as of yet, but it's something we can maybe look at in the future. Yeah. So we go to, what she does is she goes to many different companies, so like suppliers in China, and she has a business over there. So she has like a drop ship from all these suppliers to her one address, and then she ships to Canada once a month. So if anybody's interested, drop me an email. What we're looking for is basically brand, part number, a picture, and then if we can get it. Not all kits are over there, obviously. It's certain brands out of China. So certain kits that come from Japan, the savings aren't really there. So if it's China related, Tamiya, trumpeter, Tamiya tools, Tamiya paints, anything like that. I think like their paints are like $1. There you go. Very true. Yeah. Very true. Yeah. They have a branch over there too. Yeah. Yeah.
It's Tokyo. Everything's made in that Philippines is their slave labor.
Yeah.
Right there.
Labor. Yeah.
We have I'm sure they're not gonna come back with
You guys
anything.
into- We'll do it once a month, so if anybody's interested, feel free. It may or may not get a price to you. If you're interested, we'll put you down.
We're gonna go surface shipping as well, so if it's not something time sensitive, surface. Obviously cheaper, more we have. Gonna this quick name, contact, send it all.
Perfect. Okay, thanks, Devin. So we'll take care of that in a mail out. All right, next we have the lovely and effervescent Pablo. So Pablo is let us know 427 Wing is looking for display scale models of aircraft for its 100-year anniversary booklet. They're missing some. They'd like to know if we can help.
All right, so now this coming April is 100 years of the Canadian Air Force, and the wing here in London 427, like they did for the 75 anniversary, now for the 100, they're going to put together a booklet talking about the wing itself, talking about the general history of the Canadian Air Force. And I wrote them the idea of actually going through the history using model planes. And the directors approved the idea. So now, so I have several myself of World War II or a Snowbird or a CF-18, but in reality, the idea is to cover from 1924 all the way to modern time. And I was thinking a lot about, military planes, but they were telling me, well, okay, why don't, if there are United Nations Canadian planes or transport planes or stuff like that, then they would like to see those. So myself, I have World War II and I have some modern ones, but in reality, we need, or they would need things before World War II, Korea, F-18s, the Golden Hawks, you name it. So if you would like to participate in this booklet for the wing, then my email is in the general email. No, any scale, anything. So the idea would be to have also a couple of rows or a couple of lines with, okay, this is model, scale, and a brief story or history about the plane. Not going, of course, into the detail if it's crash built or whatever. These guys don't care about that. But just the background story about that plane and why is it relevant to the Canadian Air Force history. So if you would like to participate, my email is there, and then we can put a list together. Eh? Yes, Pablo.alcaterra, you will see it in the list. Okay? Yes, you do ask me for that. I didn't have time to, but honestly, so anything you want, because then we can sort out and then say, okay, yes, we can go with this or not. And yeah. I would say that you have built, because in reality, is to display the model in the picture, in the booklet. Probably no more than a couple of months, I would say. No more than. Yes, because that's the anniversary. So the sooner, the better. Okay, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Pablo.
Only one. Yeah. Only one picture. I would say 3/4, the top, or something like that. You choose it. Whatever you like and better represents your model, go ahead. It would be really nice for us to join forces with the wing and have some. If just a picture of your model with your name, the description about that plane, history, and that's it. Just a picture. They don't want the models or anything like that. Just a picture, because it's going to be, again, goes in a booklet.
You'll have.
So, okay.
Yeah, Mike has one or two. I'm sure he'll help, eh, Mike? Perfect. Thanks, Pablo. What's up? Oh, okay. We'll ask Bill after. Okay, so that takes care of most of what we got going on. So we're going to do the display table. And we'll keep it short. So try to keep, okay?
That's fine. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. So we'll do just a few minutes each and then,
Right.
yeah. So Ron has his time. El Jefe? Oh, yeah, right.
I had too many other things to bring in today, so I couldn't bring any models in. So instead I sent Stuart 3 pictures, and you'll notice there's a tendency here to have a similarity of subject. They're all long and tubular, and you can read into that whatever you like. But anyway, this one is a ancient mold, Lindbergh Snark, original mold, 1959. It's supposed to be 1/48 scale. It's huge. You have no idea how big these missiles were. And it comes with a whole bunch of little equipment for it to stand on. And it's like all my kits, it's not finished. I'm still weathering it, but that one's one. Okay, number 2. This in the following tubular theme, this is a Beaumark missile, Cold War with Spy versus Spy from Mad Magazine. Some of you may have seen these pictures on Facebook. It's another 1959 mold from Revell, ancient. But it actually builds up quite nicely, and it's the only Beaumark on the market, so it is what it is. So there's that. And then the last one, another tubular one. This some of you may have been seeing on Facebook. I've been sort of posting this. I got all excited. Facebook algorithm randomly stuck me with this poster from a proposed film in 1970 by Hammer Films, which is a horror movie manufacturer company from England. It was called Zeppelins versus Pterodactyls, and it was just a poster of a Zeppelin being attacked by pterodactyls. And I thought, I have got to build something like this. And I happen to have a Class P Zeppelin kit in my stash by TACOM, and it's 1/350th scale. And so that's what this is. And it's a nightmare of PE, but it's nothing like what we're going to see later when we see these ships on the table, that's for sure. But it was a lot of fun, and just threw together a little volcanic island. Ron did research and found some true to scale pterodactyls that I'm going to stick in there attacking it and tearing off all the fabric, which has already started to be torn off, as you can see, and some Fokker DR1 triplanes, which don't ask me how they got there with the Zeppelin. I have no idea how they got there, but in any event, it's kind of a fun build, and I still have to figure out how to get the smoke. It's just there temporarily, just to give an idea of what it's supposed to do. So that's that one.
Thank you, sir. Who do we got next? Ah, yes. The Daft Canuck.
In the world of Mike's vacuum forming, that's tremendous progress over the past month with the fuselage together, cockpit just about finished, wings attached, and on the top of the frame you can see the tailplane assembly and the leading extensions, which I missed on a step there. They were very badly overdrawn, and I only reinforced the leading edge. And virtually every time I pick it up, you can hear them going creak, creak. But there's unfortunately not a hell of a lot I can do about them now, so I'll just have to be careful. And on the top part of the picture, the spine was badly molded. And if you want to pick it up and see how I can put in some epoxy in the joint and a piece of tube and then just sand it all down. It's not completely finished, but you can actually see how much plastic I have to sand away to get through to the epoxy to bring it back into the proper profile. But as I was talking with a couple other guys before, that's the joys of building old vacuum forms. Yeah, that's right. Another old vacuum form back here.
Yeah, I know. He's just as bad as you. So this is my my Aoshima 1/700 scale Hiryu aircraft carrier, pre-Midway. So I picked up from BLAP a few ship kits last year. This is the second of the 3 so it's my second ship kit. I really wanted to make this one because it looks so cool. So I did. And then last month, George showed up with his Sunderland on a nice base. And so I found a couple of videos to take a look at. So I made a base out of the toilet paper and white glue, and then did the wave crests. And the foam, I used Woodland Scenic Snow mixed with PVA and water. Although I have alum powder too, which worked. I use that for slush. If you ever want to do slush on a 1/35th scale, alum powder with some white glue and water. Makes really nice looking slush. So anyway, I like it because it looks like it's in motion, and I think that's kind of what I wanted. It's being attacked right now by a pterodactyl or whatever. They're supposed to tear it on, and there's a massive twice scale DR1 ready to defend it, but the boys will banzai on it. Anyway, that's my build. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and TP for waves in that scale, spot on. So works well. Thanks, Stuart. Maybe it's running away from Godzilla. Godzilla. Dozo. It's running away from Mr. Tamiya. Next.
Okay.
On the man who had-
Okay, that's 3D printed Warhammer Tyranid that I printed up and painted. And then next to that is an Orc War Boss that was also printed up and painted. And I scaled it up to 120% so that the smaller details come a little bit bigger for the old eyes and shaky hands. And then next to that is a scaled up version of the Tyranid that is about to do battle with a Night Lord Space Marine. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah. Oh, I have nightmares all the time anyway, so it doesn't matter.
And next up, from our newest arrival. 350 chips.
Yeah, let me just turn them around. So there's a number of these. I have a model railroad. They all go on the wall. But there's a couple of dozen of them. This is three aircraft carriers that have quite a history in the Second World War. HMS Ark Royal, USS Enterprise, CB6, and IJN Akagi. It's the Imperial Japanese Navy. They're 1 to 350. I spray them with black and then all over, and then I kind of spray from the top with a light gray to just bring them up to World War II colors. Now, it should have a lot more color. I built these things when I'm in a hotel room waiting to do my thing. So sometimes I have a lot of time to get this stuff done. I brought in some pieces that I have left over. Most of it's been picked through the Tide box. There's a few more boxes. I really don't want to take that stuff home. There's boats, there's guns. It's all 1 to 350 scale. So if you have any ships and you'd like a few extra items, go for it. And yes, the model railway has plastic stuff too. And I picked up one day a vacuum form passenger coach. And I've never had a vacuum form kit that went together really nicely. I don't know, nothing fits on those things. Anyway, first I've heard that. Yes. No, they're all 1 to 350, and they come in. I love modeling or something like that. This new kit with a little heart, you know, that maker. Looking at your anyway, the box is made out of wood that was thrown away by my neighbor. So yeah. Anyway, I've run out of time.
All right, no problem. You want me to help you put this down so they can
Sure.
see the screen?
I was going to introduce myself as Robert Langlois, and I am a plastic modeler.
Well, welcome, Robert. I hope you'll keep coming to our meetings. That's great. What do we got next is, oh, yes.
Thank you. This really didn't go together to get the attention that it's got. It was not my intent in the beginning. I came across it at the auto show in Detroit just late last year, $20. And one day I felt like putting it together, so I did. But then one thing leads to another. And because I spent my whole career doing that, I knew of different ways to go about it. So it's got a wet tank on it. It's good. The cab's a little longer than usual to accommodate the custom decals. And so I thought I'd put those extensions on there. And I've had fun lately playing with the straps on the fuel tanks. And that is chrome tape. And then getting it cut to that tiny width and getting it on is always fun. And it just represented something that was, familiar to me. Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. And yeah, this is Ron's 3D printed pterodons, whatever they're logistically called now. They're just- All right, what else we got? We got the Legion of Cam. Oh, before I forget, before we go to Cam, just real quick, Blap, of course, has brought some of his Blap Enterprises production models.
Peddling my wares.
Peddling his wares.
Various organizers, the hobby bin.
I know. Cool. As a former client, I recommend these products. All right,
Hey, later.
next.
Okay, so this is Panzer Grenadier Company, vehicles and infantry. They're late war half tracks and early war infantry. Seems like a mismatch, but in the summer of 1943, it doesn't do so badly. From left to right, you got the first two vehicles are two engineer vehicles that have each have a removable bridge for crossing obstacles, trenches, streams, small wire obstacles, small minefields, other kinds of things, what have you. They also have an assault boat and assault ladder hung on the side, which I improvised some, bent some wire, drilled some holes, stuck some wire in, bent it up, and then made some holders for the assault ladders. They are removable for when they're being played. The assault ladders can be used to scale to the second story of fortifications, or laid across a barbed wire obstacle to allow the infantry to cross. So both of those vehicles turned out really nicely. They got lots of stowage. The second one, or the third vehicle over, is a Stummel, I believe, and that's a Butte. That comes with the kit as well. The fourth vehicle is a flamethrower variant. And then the last four vehicles are, well, the first one is just a straight up infantry variant with a machine gun. And then the final three vehicles can all be modified on the fly between four different variants. The first one being a 37mm gun variant, which you'll see one of there. Another one being the mortar variant, which you'll see one of there. Another one being a straight up infantry carrier. And then the last one being a cargo carrier or ambulance, which you also see on the table. These kits, the kit that I built them from is sitting on the table if you're interested in looking at it. It comes with 4 full half tracks, plus enough stuff to make the Stummel variant, the flamethrower variant, the engineer variant, and the mortar variant. I scratch built the cargo carrier tarp myself. It turned out really nicely. It's just some bits of plastic card and duct tape over top. And all I did to paint the duct tape was a little bit of dry brushing. So that's the original color of it. I think they turned out great. They look awesome. And I actually have 4 more of them to build inside that box. So it's going to be a full company of 12 vehicles when I'm done. On the table in front of them is a full company of early war German infantry, 4 submachine gun sections and 6 rifle sections. Would be the standard composition of an early war German company. And I think they look great. The figures are mostly etchy with some Caesar miniatures figures in there, and also some Pegasus figures in there, and I think some Revell figures as well. It's a good variant, and that's just one company of a full battalion. I've got 4 full companies of German infantry for that. Yeah.
Nice. Nice, Cam. Thank you, sir. And then next, I think it's George. George never fails. Supply wonderment. Thank you. George.
Thank you. Unlike Cam, I didn't bring in the full squadron. Unlike you, I didn't bring in a full squadron, just one. Next time. This is a Vought Vindicator reconnaissance dive bomber. The French bought a number of these and placed a second large order, but when France fell, all these Vindicators went to Britain, to the fleet arm. They modified them, called them Chesapeakes, but by the time they finished modifying the order from Vought, it was considered obsolete. So these planes were used purely for training, and not one of them ever saw combat in World War II. But the markings were kind of neat and very simple kit. It's a 172 ICM. This was another kit I did over Christmas. Real simple academy. This is Mary Lou. She is a P9 P40N and positioned in New Guinea in 44. There's a single Japanese kill mark just under the cockpit there. The decals are aftermarket. I just like the kit's coloring, the white tail, yellow prop, and the Mary Lou's image on the side of the fuselage is it was a great little decal to put on. Just all Tamiya paints, nothing fancy, just a out of the box build.
Thank you, George. That's it for our table. Nice. All right, we're going to take what? What? Oh, he didn't have a picture of him. Peter, tell us about your firefighting mechs.
You knew about them.
Oh, I knew about him.
Anyways, there are a couple of BattleTech mechs. They're what's known as the Omni mechs, basically emergency service only mechs. And I had the idea, since they have 90% of the same parts, why not have them as construction mechs, police mechs, fire mechs? Because basically 99% of the body is exactly the same. It's just the arms. So easy, needed for the emergency service. Not the arms. New arms in. So these two I made as basically army mechs using AK fire mechs pressed into emergency surface using AK paint for it. When it's already built, just a nice little exercise in painting. And I also tried the AK asphalt for the first time, and I'm not totally happy with it. It definitely needs more practice, because there was definitely some spots that were just pure flat, where it was obviously too runny. I've got a couple more at home that I'm still finishing up, where I added some other concrete. Concrete, very chunky.
I used it. Mine's good. Maybe it's the batch. I
Maybe.
used it and it's nice and smooth.
Yeah, there was a lot of moisture in the asphalt one, but didn't seem to be much moisture in the concrete one. So might have been an older batch, and of course the store is selling some kits for our wood friend who's with the stores, who's passed away, and some of the stuff went to Game Chambers, some of the stuff we're selling. Real good bargains on most of them, and
All of them.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Even the expensive one.
Yeah, I bought a couple.
The books are basically what's left. It's $5 a piece. The nice Royal Canadian Air Force book that's there is 10, but lots of other models for nice little deals.
Thanks, Pete. So, one other point of business, Bill reminded me, Bill, do you want to talk about it? Or you want me to talk about it?
Sure.
You go ahead, my friend. Oh, I'll hold it up and show people.
There you go. We've been talking, or I've been thinking about doing poker chips for a long time for taking to shows, or just dropping on kits that impress me. It's not going to mean that they are technically the best kits around, but just ones that stroke me the right way for whatever reason. So just after Christmas, one of the poker chip sites, custom poker chip sites, they had a sale on, so I ordered 100. I designed them up. They do say IPMS London on the one side of them, with diversity in modeling. And on the other side of them, in Latin, it says excellence in artistry and construction. So I know that other members have been thinking and talking about doing something like this for the club. So I guess this is my idea of a test run on it. There are going to be, yep, I will, when I go through my first 100, and I order some more, there's going to be a couple of design changes just because things aren't as clear as I wanted them to be on these. You know, looking on things on the computer screen, things look a little different than they do in real life when they get to you. But overall, I'm pleased with them. So because of the sale, they cost me, I'm saying probably landed at home 96 or 98 cents a piece. But I did a small batch. If the club decides to sort of do something like this and order in a larger batch, I'm sure they would be a little less expensive. That's it. That's it. I was having fun. Huh? I actually had absolutely no plans other than I wanted a pocket full of them when I went to the model shows.
So Bill and I talked about this about a month and a half ago. Actually, the Latin comp, basically, Bill and I
Been playing with.
we're playing with mottos. We were basically doing Latin translations back and forth in emails, and pulled the trigger on it. I like the design because I think it's perfect, an airbrush and a blade. You know, I'd like the club. What I would like is the club to order these for the membership purchase at the cost, by doing a bulk order. And this thing, I'm doing this with National also. It's big in the States because I've got the other podcasts are doing it. Stuart's been thinking about it. So this is something that I think would be good use for our club funds because it allows us to buy back. They're pretty cheap. I know in the States, they're getting them for as low as 25 to 30 cents a piece. We're up here, so we usually get Euclid on price. I appreciate Bill pulling the trigger himself on this. I think they're a fantastic idea. This is the coin we had, the logo we had looked at when that Bill designed when he first sent it to me. I think it's elegant, simple. I think your biggest change was, like you said, the font on the back really is just to make it bigger and whiter. But it's out there for the membership. I mean, you went ahead and did something. If this is something the club would like, if you'd be interested. I mean, I'm interested already. I would purchase some. Cam's already expressed an interest. If the club was good with something like this, putting in an order for 300 or 400, I think is well within our means for the club. And then members can go to places like Heritage Con, and that's the whole point. The whole point is it's someone in the hobby telling someone else, hey man, that's a really nice job. I know it happened at last year's Nationals in Texas, and the feedback I got was everyone who got one ended up posting it saying, holy crap, like this showed up and it was better than getting gold, silver, bronze, right? because it's better than the metal, because now it's here saying, damn it, I like it, right? And it doesn't have to be, like, we all have stuff we like, we all have stuff that we look at, we go, that blew me away, right? So, it's just a way of giving someone a bit of recognition to say, hey, somebody from IPMS London, and it's great to get our brand out, that's the other thing, right? To do stuff like that. Bonani, there's John Bonani, who's very well known in the States, he's with the, he's done it, and like, I know down there, it's like being sainted, so, it's a really cool thing. So I like it, it's simple, it's cost effective, it's cheaper than doing a challenge point. If the membership could hold a vote and see, and then Bill can go ahead and do the modifications, he's got the test subject. But I think this would be ready to go like that, just basically Bill's talking about redoing the back, the wording, it was bigger.
Yeah, the wording, I can't go much bigger without it starting to overlap itself, but changing the color so that it stands out more, and maybe doing either changing the star to another maple leaf, or doing multiple layers in the star.
So, I mean, you're okay with modifications like that? I don't think we need to do anything more than just ask the membership that's present. What do you guys think? Who's for this? Yeah, show of hands.
Funny you brought that. This past weekend. Husband, he was. He
Oh, were those the Jello chips? Jello,
got him when
yeah,
he got him when he was a little kid.
yeah, Jello used to, they used to come in the boxes of Jello, they did both the aircraft
Yeah.
and the cars.
Yeah, 100 pounds. And he knows. He half the set is gone. Right?
Yeah.
But he said, you know, one of his two daughters. He's not gonna throw the rest. Well, he's gonna keep it, but he just want to show me.
Yep.
But it's, I think your logo is amazing, first of all.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. On the
This is what happens when I get bored at work.
Yeah.
Oh, no, literally, this was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was having a quiet day. He's like, hey, what do you, next thing you know, we spend an hour emailing each other, so. Yeah,
Just to suggest that the back, you can't, and considering that this year. You put, you know, it can't be long, but maybe a fire mosquito,
well, the problem is we'd be doing a bulk order of something for the club, not for the 60th, because we want to keep it going, right? So this is an identifier. What Bill's talking about is making the band around the edge white. He's talking about with the lettering would stand out more, and then I think changing the star, he said possibly to a maple leaf.
Another maple leaf, or
Yeah.
doing a multi-level star so that you have, you know, the white, red type thing, so it stands out more.
Maple leaf.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Yeah, we talked about doing a maple leaf in like multiple colors, and not to take away from the diversity movement, but we wanted to express the diversity in the hobby. Because it's Gundam, ship, planes, right, military modeling, sci-fi modeling, it's the same thing. We have a diversity within our community, what we'd like to build. Thought that would be good, but I think the maple leaf would be more appropriate for us. That says excellence in art and.
Excellence in artistry and construction.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a great model for the order.
I can't guarantee it. It took me, when I ordered them, it was 5 weeks before I got them. So it would be really hit or miss whether they were here in time for Heritage Con.
The consensus was, let's do it right.
Do we have a meeting before Heritage Con?
Yes.
Okay, what I can do is I can bring in the 100 that I've already got and divvy them up.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But you know what? The consensus is go for it. So
Okay,
Bill, action item, you are empowered.
all right.
And email me, I'm on reading week if you want.
No, it'll take all of about 15, 20 minutes to change the back of it.
And you're the treasurer. so you
Putting
got-
the order in isn't hard.
You got the funds, so perfect. We'll go ahead with that then. Thank you. So real quick, let's do the 50-50 draw. Yeah, you wanted about a half hour?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. So we'll do 10 minutes. Bio break, 50-50 draw, if you're interested. We've got a raffle prize for the 50-50. It's, yeah. And then there's free stuff up here. Remember, we got magazines, Lap Enterprises.
Is my stuff there? Where's the one? Okay, in there? And is that got the spray can included too in that bag? I'm pretty sure that's all that's over there. Let's do.
Right here.
I'll be muting the mic for a few minutes, fellas. All right, hang on a sec. Mr. Kubiak, who misses meetings, can you hear me?
Ron? Ron, hearing,
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you.
part two of our, foam cutting extravaganza with, Ron,
Hey.
as they say in French, the floor is yours.
Hey, guys, okay, we're gonna continue on where I left off the last time, which was talking about the texture rollers. Now, these I've printed myself, but there's a couple of companies out there that make these things that you can buy. But they're a quick way of making brickwork on foam. And it's a very simple matter of with your foam piece. Yeah, it's just simply a matter of cutting whatever wall section you need to the height that you need. Taking the roller. This is a little wide, but press down, kind of go back and forth a little. And of course, there's all kinds of different patterns of bricks and cobblestone, roof shingles, all kinds of things you can get. And I'll pass that around for the guys to see. Just a simple brick pattern there. And then, so that covers these texture rollers. And if you remember from the last time when I did this little house by doing, everything impressed into it. You can also do that with the brickwork by, making brickwork around your window opening and say the foundation or the corner. Instead of it being timber, you just impress in bricks or stone and then texture using the tinfoil ball like I do for all of the stonework on the face of it. And usually the cornerstones, I leave them without texture so that you get the difference. And by pushing in below the corner pieces, you get that height variation. So you can also do that with stonework as opposed to timber framing. And the other thing I like to do is I have, and with this here, all the bricks on these things were done with a roller that I have here, and 3D printed the arrow slits and windows and things. But for cutting out all of this with the notches in them, all I did, I made up a little template out of, well, cracker box. Like that. So I have all kinds of those that I've used for various things. And I'll show you how we use those with the wire cutter here. Just a simple triangle here. So all I would do with that is I put double-sided tape on this, stick it on. So, and this wire cutter that I have with me tonight, I should explain it a little bit. This is my homemade one that I bought a Woodland Scenics handheld hot wire cutter. And of course, where did I buy the rest of the stuff? Right. And so as you can see on the bottom here, all I did was use a couple of scraps of of metal and cut a couple of notches in the blocks here for the one half of the handheld wire cutter to sit. I kind of had to epoxy it and everything in place to get it to stay from moving. Then I used a clipboard for the top surface here, a wooden box from the dollar store for the base, and then just a piece of angle iron from the hardware store. And that gave me my hot wire cutter. And I've cut thousands of bricks and different things on this over the years. So basically, this fence is just manual. It's not like the Cadillac version that's on my other cutter, but it does the job. And so just pipe in and going here. Well, the tool itself is, yeah, I'm not.
What could possibly?
Yeah, exactly. And so basically, I mean, just go along with this like so.
You'll just burn your finger.
Yeah, self-cauterizing. So, no.
Yeah, it's like a lifesaver. Just make sure you take both parts into the ER.
And then you might have a little bit that you'll have to turn them up like so.
Yeah.
So there you have it. So, and I mean, you can see in here, these are all templates of different shapes and sizes, like some of the stuff for these things here. And I mean, again, same thing, you just stick that on with double-sided tape, go around it, done. So it goes pretty quick. And because trying to follow a line with this thing is not so easy.
Those are a damn good job. Only one little bit there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
You
where
can
I
stand
kind
up.
of,
Yeah, you can stand down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fabulous.
Now, when I'm doing them for real, you know, I take my time, and if there is a little bit sticking out while the template is still on there, I'll, you know, just trim
And you
it.
have the shot of it.
Yeah,
Calm
that
reverse.
too. Yes.
Okay.
So, like, you know, do archways with, you know, doors.
How do you, can you attach the wire?
You can, if
Just
you
to
want to
start-
do,
to
if you
start
want to
a
do internal stuff, yeah. Yeah, you can do it that way, certainly.
Don't do it.
No, no, not a good idea. And the only other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is the sources for styrofoam and everything. Don't use green floral foam. And I think Mike will have a quick little story about that, if you wouldn't mind. Mike, what was the troubles with that at the?
Whole green floral foam, brought it in, set it aside. Somebody from the health and safety was doing their inspection and walked around into the craft room and looked in the box and went, "Excuse me, what's this? Oh, that's a bunch of floral foam that we got for free that we're going to use for our coffee stuff." The guy, "No, you're not. You're going to bag that up right now and get it out of here." It's cost.
Interesting. Yeah, there you go.
And then there's another couple of foams that are that you can get from the building supply places. Like you can see that stuff with the foil on top of the yellow foam. Don't peel the foil off of that stuff and start using a hot wire cutter. Gives off chlorine gas. Right. So you got to stick to this. These more common types of foam. Like, at the building supply, you can get the 1 inch thick stuff, the pink stuff, and a 2 foot square piece for about $9 or $10. So that's good to use. And again, you don't want to breathe in when you're using. I put a fan behind me when I'm cutting stuff. And then you can get 1/2 inch thick stuff, which is really great if you don't have a hot wire cutter, because you can pretty much work with that. Like say if you're doing a 135th building, right? You can use that as your wall thickness for bricks, multiple layers of bricks or stone. So you don't need to have the thick stuff. And this stuff is about $18 for a 2 foot by 8 foot sheet. So that make a lot of building, right? And then this stuff that I bought recently is 1.5 inches thick, and it's denser than the pink stuff, so it impresses a lot easier when you're doing, say, with the texture rollers or, the foil ball to get the texture on it. Yeah, I got that at Lowe's. Okay, Home Depot doesn't carry this stuff. And this here was like 2 foot by 8 foot, but it was $45. But like, yeah. And then this is that crappy, beaded type of foam. Don't use that because it's very hard to, work with trying to get any kind of a texture on it. Well, no, it's no worse than this. And the difference in what this is called expanded polystyrene, so EPS, and then this stuff is called extruded polystyrene, XPS. So you want to make sure you get the XPS for doing any kind of model work with.
And it works well. Like I did my base, I used it for my water base. I do the same. If I picture frame at the dollar store, I cut the XPS fit. That's my base. And then you have multiple models, right? Whatever you want to show, you can just pop it out, put it in, so you only have to have a couple frames.
Yeah.
It's deceptively.
And then the other foam you can get, which is a PVC, I think, foam in some cases. And other times it's the XPS. It's the core out of foam core board. And there's a couple of different brand names of that stuff. One is called Ready Board. And with that stuff, the paper, you can just, it comes in a 20 inch by 30 inch piece. And you can take the whole sheet of paper right off of that, and it comes off clean. The Studio brand, you can't get it off of there. A lot of guys say, well, you can soak it in your laundry tub and scrub off all the paper and everything. And I found that, like, well, I tried doing that, clogged up my laundry tub and blah, 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 right? So don't use water to try to remove the paper from foam core. Find the Ready Board. And the Dollar Tree in the in the Clarkside Road, the mall there, they carry the Ready Board. But most of the Dollar-Ramas carry the other stuff, which is no good. It's okay for doing like substructures like I do with some of the stuff that I do, to get the basic shape of the building or whatever I'm working on. And then I overlay with either, one of these kinds of stuff that has the texture and everything worked into it.
That's what I find too, both the Dollarama and Dollar Tree, very different crap.
Yes.
So it's worth checking. They also just opened a new Dollar Tree off Third Avenue.
Oh, really?
Where the old soccer.
Oh,
one there
okay.
now.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. And then the only other thing that I did with this homemade rig here was to make just a fence for cutting off, strips of material and bricks. And I also have another one of these. I forgot to bring it, but it's just slightly taller for getting, making, thinner sheets out of this thicker material like this. And the other thing, the outside surface on these boards, right? doesn't take an impression very well, because it's sort of like a shiny coat on there from the extrusion process. So you really gotta trim off a little bit and expose like the inside part, and then that's very, easy to make impressions on.
When it comes time to paint, like done your towers, I assume like an acrylic primer.
Yeah, what I use on this stuff is I take some matte Mod Podge and mix it 50-50 with latex paint, just and just cheap craft paint, just to get a basic color on there, or whatever color you like, of course, with that. But stay away from it with spray paints. It doesn't like don't go using the unicorn tears or anything, anything hot like that. So, and a lot of the terrain guys and the war gamers, they have big areas like to cover, and they don't like using, of course, their miniature paints that $9 or $10 a bottle in some cases for some of that stuff. But I find it great for doing something like this. Like that was done with a couple of just a base color of Vallejo khaki gray, I think it was called, and then all the other coloring on it was done with different shades of shade paints from Citadel. So you can paint smaller terrain items with those expensive paint, but if you're doing like mountains and molehills and stuff, you don't have to use the more expensive paint.
Well, and you can actually,
Yeah, if you thin them out, you can, so then there's no need to buy spray paint. And also using the Mod Podge, it also seals. So it's a lot better than using, say, like a regular primer, which is a little bit porous, because then that, soaks up a little bit more paint.
I use I'll put that in X-ray ball. Either use film or use Mod Podge.
Yeah.
It says 50-50, 60-40, spray it and just let it sit. Dry clear.
Yeah, and with the with Mod Podge too, especially the matte, unlike PVA glue like Wellbond or Elmer's or anything, they usually turn out a bit glossy, right? So you have to be careful, like if you're doing a bit of, if you're doing your groundwork on a diorama, you don't want it looking like it's all wet unless you're intentional to do that. Use the matte Mod Podge for your glue to glue everything down, and to make a little scenic cement so that you can put everything dry in place. Take your Mod Podge, mix it 50% with water, add a couple of drops of dishwashing liquid to break the surface tension. And most people, what they do, they spray with a atomizer, a little bit of water, again with soap in it, or isopropyl alcohol, and then add with an eyedropper, add your glue to any.
That's how the model railroaders do the pallet.
Yeah.
You can also get Mod Podge.
Yes. You can get everything at the dollar store.
I know.
You can't buy kits,
My
that's
wife-
the only
I
thing.
know. My wife can even buy yarn.
There we go, yeah. Well, I think unless there's questions, that's about it. Anybody?
Any question? No, all right,
I have a good.
Sign of a good-
like.
yeah.
Unlike when he teaches. I
So-
use a lot of.
The last thing we have left is our 50-50 draw.
Okay.
Keep it for those who stay.
And
Okay, presented. Well, we do have, there's cash, and then, Bill provided us with some, I got a ticket here, some, above and below graphic for a Grumman T or F9F Panther. So that's also available for anyone who.
RCN.
Yeah.
Raw game pilot.
So we had a few buyers leave, so last three digits are 296. 296.
The blue ticket.
Yeah, ticket is blue. 242-296.
Be me.
Decal? Okay. You want the decal or on cap?
He's got 2 kids, for God's sake.
There you go. And, Rob. Right. And for the decals, can we do the decals? Decal sheet goes to the winner of 305. 305. Yeah. He's gonna.
148.
Uh-oh.
There's your challenge for the year. 148.
No, not 148. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you later, Mr. Kubiak. He's still there.
Yep, thanks. See ya.
Any parting words for your best customer?
No, I'm good, thanks.
All right.
Thank you. I got one kid, boss.
All right.
All right.